Howdy, Redesert Boy here. Hey, so I mentioned before I'm going to do some range report and video on these three guns. The Springfield Prodigy, which will also be in those. I don't have one of those. I happen to use it at the range where there was rentals and just to try it out. But I just wanted to recap for a minute a little bit about these two Sig Sauers and this CZ in reference to 9mm, because we're kind of focused on 9. It's probably the most popular caliber without a doubt, and probably the most cost effective as well. So as you know, I'm a hobbyist and enthusiast, so make sure you always talk to your own experts, follow all your own local, state, and federal firearms laws, for concealed carry, CCW, any kind of carry at all, whatever the rules are. Make sure you're following those. Get training as you need to. Always encourage that. Education's always a good thing. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk about these. What purpose does this fulfill from my perspective? I talked about these from my perspective and how I use them and why I have them. So for me, I happen to like Sig Sauer. I think you'll probably notice I have probably more Sig Sauer autos than any other. I have 3 of them. I have a P938 Mark 25, which was my first one. But when I don't want to carry something quite that heavy, I have something like this SP2022 here. And we'll go ahead and drop the mag out of it. As you can see, it's empty. And it's unloaded. So they have this is a single action or double action, single action. So it has a decocker on it that decocks it. What it is when you pull the trigger on the first round, it's a double action, and after that, after the first round fires, it stays back, and then the trigger is like a single action trigger. And then if it's back in the single action position after you're done firing it, you use the decocker here to lower the hammer. This one happens to have tritium night sights on it. It was a pretty good deal. It even had a little outside the waistband holster and a couple magazines with it when I bought it. And so what about the specs on this gun here? When I bought it, I was in California, so I got 2 10-round mags, but normally it's 15-round mags. I have a 15 and an aftermarket 17-round mag. So the SP2022 is, it has the X-ray, what they call the X-ray 3. Pardon me. It has what they call the Sig night sights, and it's 7.4 inches overall. It's 1.4 inches wide, 5.7 inches high. Some people do not like the way these magazine extensions are here. Some people like it. I happen to shoot this gun really well, even better than my 226 some days. It's a 3.9 inch barrel, and of course it's an all steel barrel and slide and so forth. The frame part of it is a composite, and it's one thing nice about this. It's 29 ounces. 29 ounces in weight. It's a 5.9 inch sight radius, which is kind of nice. So even though it's supposed to be kind of a compact, it's actually kind of a full-size gun. My Sig 226 has a 4.4 inch barrel, so it's a little shorter. It's lighter because the other one is at least 34 or 35 ounces, and so that's kind of nice, and it has night sights and everything. It was pretty reasonably priced. So I think they used to also make these in 40. I don't know if they still do, but I happen to really like that. I do conceal carry that. I will put a little video on the end of this. I use a We the People inside the waistband composite holster. Works very well. Keeps it very positively in there. It has retention screw adjustment. So that works well for me. This can also double as a home defense gun. So that makes it kind of nice in that size. So moving on to the smaller one. So I wanted something that was more concealable when I got my permit and things, and I wanted something that was more of an EDC. And at first I bought a Springfield XDE 45 caliber because pretty reasonable and so forth. And I like 45, but in 9, this was what I chose. And this is we'll check it safe. We'll check that the magazine is empty and the gun is empty. And this here is a Sig Sauer P938 Legion. Legion. Now it has a 7-round magazine, okay, and it's only 17 ounces, so it's half the weight almost of that one over there, and half the weight of the P226. You know, it's got a 3-inch barrel. It's overall width is 1.1, right? The overall length is 5.9 inches. And it has 4.3 inches high, and the sight radius is 4 inches. It has X-ray 3 night sights on it, and it's also, because this is a single action only, which means that you have to chamber around and then you put it on safe. If you were to, I mean, it's in safe mode for you to carry it. When you take the safety off, it is ready to fire. If you put your finger on the trigger, and the triggers are very light and single action only, it's going to fire. And so it's a whole different manual of arms for using one of these. Make sure you get proper instruction when using one of these. I really like it. It's got G10 grips, and it's got a nice finish on it, and it's an all metal because it's alloy. So, and of course the barrel steel and things like that need to be. But anyway, this is the P938, and I do carry it. I have inside the waistband holster from Crossbreed I usually use. It's small enough that sometimes I can carry it outside the waistband in this paddle holster from We the People holsters, kind of their Constitution, Second Amendment kind of pattern on there. So shows you a couple of 9mm pistols you can have. You have a larger one, a smaller one for ADC. And then what about home defense? A lot of people have a shotgun, something I'm looking at as having for home defense, or they have an AR-15. Me, I'm not necessarily a big AR-15 person. I don't have anything against them. It's just that I kind of like sticking to, I like my lever action rifles. And for me, I went with a CZ EVO 3 S1 Scorpion Carbine. Now this one has a little bit larger handguard on it than others with M-lock type rails. It's got the muzzle brake on it. It's got a 4-position sights that it comes with, 4 aperture sizes. It also has a folding stock, right? Which is, you know, kind of nice. It has an ambidextrous safety, so you have a safety on both sides. So let's check this one safe. We'll go ahead and wrap it a few times here, and we can see there's nothing in it and there's no magazine in it. So in this case, we know this gun is safe. Later on, I fitted it with the Romeo 5 red dot. It seems to work pretty well. Although, and I fit it in such a way that this riser, I can probably use the manual sights on here, just the aperture type sights. But you know, I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. For me, it seems to work. But probably you should just use one or the other. And of course, since it's got this rail up here, you could put other kind of scopes on it if you really want to. But nice thing about this one here is a fiber reinforced composite for the frame. Of course, it's got a cold forged steel barrel. It's 36 inches overall in length with a 16-inch barrel and 16.2 inch barrel, I should say. And it's 9.4 inches in height, so it's a little bit taller than some things. Of course, with the Romeo 5 on there, it makes it a little more. But it's fairly nice thing about it. It shoots 9s, so I can have one ammunition for all these, and I can put other attachments on here if I so desire, a light or something like that. And of course, I could put a sling on here, which I should have on there probably. And then I do have some aftermarket safeties I may put on here, because some people seem to like to change them. They don't really care for that design, and also sometimes the hand grip, they like a different hand grip. But this thing weighs 6.3 pounds. Now that's ones with a smaller handguard, so this one probably weighs closer to 7 pounds or so. So it's very handy. And it's nice to be able to have, as I said, one caliber that I can use kind of for my home defense type long gun. And also it comes with 20 round magazines, 2 of them. And I bought some 35 round aftermarket Magpul magazines also. And I'll post a web kind of showing, not just the range video for that, but shooting these in kind of a rapid continuous fire mode. So anyway, just to kind of revisit these, what about pricing? Well, this one was the most expensive. When I bought it, it was over $1,100. This one was in the neighborhood of about $700 or $800. These are kind of hard to find. It came with 3 7-round magazines, which is nice, being as there's 7 rounds. This one, as I mentioned before, it came at the time I bought it because it was in California, and it was it's probably in other places you might find it for between $500 and $700. I paid about $700 for it, but it has night sights on it. So, like I said, I think they also make this in a 40 caliber for some people that might prefer that. So overall, kind of just to give you a quick picture of what you can do, kind of give you a kind of a more standard sized, full-sized gun, possible home defense, possible more EDC relatable, concealable type gun if you have all your permitting and everything. And then you have a long gun with much larger capacity magazines that you can use for your home defense, and still in the same caliber, and still fit a red dot on there if you so desire. Or you can use the standard sights. This does fold. I did buy a case for it. I have this case up here, and the nice thing is that you fold the stock and you put it in there. Makes it fairly easy to transport. So thank you for taking the time. I just wanted to spend a few moments talking about that again. And as Free Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now. So just a quick follow-up. And some people might say, well, I'm a Glock person, right? I'd really like to do it just all in Glock. Certainly, you could do that. You think about it, this gun would become a Glock 19 or Glock 17 or something of that nature. Fulfill the same purpose. You could get yourself a Glock, 26 if that's what you wanted. And the Ruger PC Carbine has an adapter that fits Glock mags. And it would all be 9, right, if that's what you wanted. And it would all be Glock. So just something to think about. I think about from time to time. I do think about, getting, because you can fit all those 33 round Glock mags in that PC Carbine. You can fit 10s, you can fit 15 rounders and all that in the Ruger PC Carbine. This is proprietary. These have proprietary mags. These have proprietary mags. So just something to think about. If you're on a different budget, probably you could do all that same thing. Where this all might run in a neighborhood of around $2,000+ for something like that, minus the red dot. You could probably do all that, using the Ruger PC Carbine and the Glocks. I'm going to say probably in the neighborhood of about probably you could maybe do it for about $1,800, depending on what you found, as opposed to maybe something more like $2,500. It might be closer to $1,800 to $2,000. So just something to think about. So just want to show you that there are other ways to do a similar thing if you really are a really Glock aficionado. So I personally like Glocks as far as their functionality and reliability. They just don't fit my hand as well, and I shoot them fine. So the 19 for me doesn't shoot as well. The 17 and the Model 45 9mm, those shoot well for me, and the 380 version, the Model 42. But anyway, just some other thoughts for you. So once again, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now. So I just want to take a moment to show you that I do have a paddle holster on. One of the things about the P938 is it's a pretty small weapon, and so it's one of those things, yeah, there's maybe a little bit of printing, but not much. You can see here I have it in my We the People Second Amendment or Constitution, I can't remember, paddle holster, and you know, it does pretty good. I don't wear outside the waistband paddle holsters a lot, but because I generally use concealment, but you know, for EDC. But I think you can see there that that does a pretty good job of keeping it concealed there. Just wanted to share that with you about those holsters. Once again, I have another We the People holster on. It's Kydex holster, and I have a full size, essentially a full size Sig on my SP2022 right here. And we've checked these weapons unloaded previously, but I just kind of wanted to share that with you. It does have this little part that sticks out of the magazine, which kind of causes some printing at times, but just something to be aware of. And it's fairly comfortable. I've worn this holster for if I want to carry a full size, and because of the lightness of this gun, because it's not all metal gun, it works out very well. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you too. These were both We the People holsters.